we can build with. And I'll pull it up right now since we have a little bit of a delay and I want to make sure everybody gets out of here on time. Let's see. Does anybody have any little ideas? Usually what we build is like a little tech idea, like a little directory or a little phone app, like a mobile app or a little website, things like those. Super, super easy to do.
Could it be like a company?
Yeah, absolutely. The goal is to build a little company idea. If you have a company idea or you have something that maybe you're working on, I could prototype something here and show you how you can get started with it. Or if you just have like a fun idea or a little side project or something you think would be cool in the world, we'll try to make it happen.
What was the idea you had, Richard? Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about, I didn't build any other project, but I was about to do it tomorrow. But I do want to do bio research facility where I can make blueprints of prototype of drawing. A drawing that could actually use my imagination that could be used in a real life world.
Interesting. So
I was planning to build a logo there, by the way.
Logos are fun. Yeah, I can actually show you a few tools if you want to go and build a logo. But I like it. Research facility. Something like that where it's going to take like a ton of upfront capital, obviously, is not something that we can immediately like jump into, but I like it a lot.
So I saw another one. It looks like Shyam Kumar said a book recommendation app that's designed similar to Tinder, swipe left or right on book titles.
Absolutely, Shyam. We could absolutely do that. That's super doable. Yeah, there's actually like that's there's actually a little template we can work off of there on one tool that I use pretty often. We can do that super quick. So that's totally one. Any other ideas? And we can decide, but I would be down to go with that one. Yeah.
Anybody else have any ideas? I like that idea too.
No pressure. A couple of little ideas.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I have one. It's a tool to help you clean your room that where you talk about talk about different articles in your room and whether you want to get rid of them and how important they are to you, and then you talk about how they and you get reminded about their importance over time.
So then you can decide if you want to keep it, if you want to sell it, or if you want to throw it away. And so it'll give you little pop-up reminders on that one. Okay. It would also be like a little Tinder.
Yeah, like Marie Kondo says, Miranda. Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea too.
Okay, cool. We got two ideas. Perfect. Little book recommendations. We got an importance tracker for home articles. I like it.
I have some more ideas. I remember that time I watched on YouTube, there was this tech zone where they innovate ideas for advanced technology for one of those products.
In what like space? Was it just kind of general like innovation?
It's like advanced technology products where it's more like futurism.
Okay. I see Cody has it. Cody has an idea. Cody, did you want to?
Cody, what you got?
Yeah, I had a quick idea about like an app that helps you remember to reach out to the people you care about more often. Like, I've always got friends or family. I'm like, man, I should talk to that person more often, but I never do. So it's like, maybe you can add people to a list that you want to talk to once or twice every few months and send you a little notification like, hey, you haven't hit this person up in a while. You should reach out.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I like it. I
actually built myself a Google Sheets like that a few years ago because there were like 20, 30 people that I really wanted to keep up with, but I was just really bad at it. And so I used a couple little formulas in Google Sheets just to like it would like turn red if I hadn't reached out to them in like 30 days, and I would just go and regularly update it. We could absolutely build that.
What if we could make an item that doesn't involve with gas? Like car gas, like could be like electric or gravity. We don't have to.
Yeah, I think those kind of ideas are tough to do, especially in this kind of a space.
Yeah, totally. I think something a little bit more online might be a little bit more accessible, but I like it. I like where your head's at, Richard.
All right, so Max, which one do you want to do?
Let's see. Sham has a couple more ideas, like a virtual fitting room. I like that. I need a client portal with a login so clients can log in and see and pay their invoices. A payment portal. I like that, David. I think let's go with the two ideas that I'm kind of between. I like the friend reminder app a whole lot. I think that's really nice, and there's a couple different ways we could do something like that. But something really quick that I think that helps keep track of weightlifting repetitions. I like that, Tim. the way living reputations, actually, I have a friend that's building a really cool company called I think it's what is it? I have a friend from Carnegie Mellon that's building something really crazy like that just uses like an Apple Watch. It's super cool. Yeah, we could also build something like that. I'm kind of partial to Sham's first idea with the like book recommendations for Tinder, just because like we can build that in its entirety very quickly. And that would be kind of an interesting demonstration of a fun little no-code tool. So I'm partial to that. Cody says thumbs up, cool. And maybe if we get it really done really quickly, we could build something else.
Yeah.
But I have a book recommend. Cool. Jake is in for a book. All right, cool. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Do it, let's do it.
That sounds
let's do
good.
it.
I like it. So I'm going to share my screen. This is my list of wild ideas. I'm going to go and I'm going to kind of, hopefully everybody can see my screen. I'm actually going to pull the chat back up. Cool. So this is Glide. I'm going to paste this in the chat if anybody wants to check it out. Glide is a super nice free tool that lets you build mobile apps really easily. Without programming, without anything like that. We're going to be able to get it the prototype done in this session, no problem. I'm very confident.
Is it like an innovation product, or is it like comparing to web development?
So good question. Web development, the difference between like a website and a app developer like this is slightly different. A website tool, for instance, might be something like Wix, right? Wix is a really good example of a website builder. And like a website looks the same to everybody, right? It like everybody sees the same stuff when you're on a website. It's a blog or it's something along those lines. Even like Airbnb, right? Airbnb is actually a web app. And that's what Glide actually helps us build. So it helps us build something that you can download on your phone as a web app, which functions like a mobile app. It's really smooth, but or a desktop web app, right? So Airbnb looks different to everybody, depending on how they use it, depending on how they interact with it. But a Wix website is going to look the same to everybody, right? Everybody like sees the same stuff. A website is always the same, but an app or a web app changes depending on how the user uses it. And Glide basically helps you create web apps. So it's like an innovation product more than a website developer. But it's super cool. We're gonna be able to build something really quickly. So I'm gonna log in and I'm gonna start making some stuff. And Glide, what it does, the way it works is it has a little backend database like an app would, and that backend database is actually a Google Sheet. So we're gonna need to make a Google Sheet as a little backend, and that's gonna contain all of our books, right? All of our books are going to be on this little backend sheet, and then we're going to create the app interface with Glide and build a little app, a front end, where we can swipe through and really easily just kind of find and check out books, right? So let's go build that Google Sheet. Google Sheet. Go to Sheets. Gonna start a new one, and we'll call this Google Sheets. Book Tinder. And we're gonna have a few little cells where we're gonna have let's come up with like 3 books just for the prototype. And we'll just add them in and we'll start using that. But you would go and you would assemble a series of books that you really enjoy or that you've seen other people recommend, or you would get a group together and you would all like find a bunch of little books. Assembling the whole giant backend database is going to take a little bit of time. If you want to personally do it, you could also just pull a database off of somewhere else, right? And just jam it into your app. Whatever works for you. But for the purpose of this, since we're not going to go like going and finding a big database isn't that difficult. It just kind of depends on if you want to do it yourself, if it's, personal recommendations, if it's recommendations of a friend, if it's recommendations off of a website. So for the purpose of this, we're just going to add like 3, and that'll function as the prototype. We're going to have the title of the book. We're going to have the, let's say, price of the book. That's good, important to know. Price, one we will say like price on Amazon, right? Because maybe that's where we'll recommend people buy stuff. My cat's jumping around. He's very excited. So title, price of book, maybe the author. And then, is there anything else we need to know for books? Price, title, author, maybe like page count, something like that. And then we'll say the genre. Genre. Yeah, genre. Awesome. Thank you everybody for jumping in. Cool. So we'll come up with 3 book in theories. Oh yeah, short description. I like that too. So like short description. Short description. And then maybe actually we want to cover, right? We want a cover of a book. So let's actually do that. So cover image. That's important too. Because we want to have people be able to see this stuff. You're published. Ooh, I like it. Burned books on book Tinder. I like that. I like that, Miranda. You're published so people can see what's new. I like it. You're published. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's make up a few books. Let's say girl with the dragon tattoo. I'm going to find an image of that online so we can use that. Girl with the dragon tattoo. Let's say
Lean startup.
ooh, lean startup. Yeah. We'll use that too. Let's see if I can paste the cover image. Oops. Okay, that's not what we want. How about just the image address? That might work well. Cover image. Cool. Let's do the lean startup. Lean startup. Startup ho. This is a good. Well, we'll use this image. Copy image address. Lean startup. We'll say the lean startup. The girl with the dragon tattoo. Awesome. Ooh, link with local libraries. That's actually not bad. So let's add link to local library. That would be a little difficult because it depends on where the user is using it from, right? But it could be, maybe it could track their location and it could find, we could set up something like that. That might be a little bit tougher. We'll talk about that at the end about how we would do that. I like that idea a lot. But that would require a little bit of like location services and it would be slightly more complex. Ooh, audio version. I like that. Audio book. Awesome. And I'm just going to add fake links in here because I don't want to spend the whole time just finding like different bits. So we're going to say 1999, definitely not, but whatever, 2000s, and then 2010, something like that. And then what was it? Art of War by Sun Tzu? Yeah. War. I think it's Sun Tzu. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. Next Mirho, let's pretend I wrote that one. Startup, Eric Reese, something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Page count. Huh?
No, I said, yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it
Okay,
right.
cool. Awesome. Pretend this page count is 100. This one's 200. And this one is 210. Genre is going to be drama. This one's going to be education, and this one's going to be historical. Short description. Awesome book with lots of intense story. I haven't read it. Wonderful educational guide into how to start something, and then you get it. You get it. Cover image, let's get Sun Tzu, and then we're gonna just go and build the actual front end. Art of War book. Art of War. No. Copy image address. And this. And then price on Amazon, let's just pretend this is $1, $2. That would be an incredibly cheap book. $3. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now we have this. We have a wonderful little tiny database of books, right? Now I'm going to go back to Glide, and I'm going to create a new project. It's going to be Glide app, and we're going to call it Book Tinder. And we're going to connect a Google Sheet, and you can also do Excel. You can do Glide tables. That's their own little internal database, or you can do Airtable, and I love Airtable. If anybody uses Airtable, it's like Google Sheets on steroids. I love it. But I'm going to build this. Connect this over. We're going to find our Book Tinder. Book Tinder, is that there somewhere? There it is. Excellent. So now let's customize this a little bit. It's going to create a little list and it's grabbing those images. That's beautiful. So this is a little list format. But Glide actually has a functionality where it just has a swipe feature. So I'm going to change the style of this list to swipe. And let's see if it works nicely. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can make this look a little bit nicer. Because right now it has like a weird little link thing and it says Google, your publish, short description, drama. We don't need to say that it's the genre. And price on Amazon, maybe we can keep that. And the title, the author is there. This looks overall pretty decent, but I don't like how this link looks, and let's change how the genre functions. So there's no title on genre, it's just a drama. And we'll move that up to the top. It's a drama. Page count, short description. We don't need to say short description, so I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to move that up below drama, short description, take this out. So now it's just drama, awesome book with lots of intense story, beautiful. And let's take out the link and let's add in a button because that'll be a little bit nicer. And this will be check out the audio book, right? Check out the audio book, and it will, the action that it's going to do is it's going to open a link to audiobook. Excellent. Open link audiobook. Perfect. So now that looks pretty good. I wonder actually if that's just it. Oh my goodness. It shouldn't be named sheet 1. It should be named book, Tinder. We don't need a search bar, so I wonder if we can disable that search bar. Edit list, options. We don't need a search bar because it's meant to be swiping. Is there anything else? Okay, I think
Pretty good.
it looks fine. I mean, like let's do a little bit more stuff. So pink is I like it. Maybe we can do a dark theme. Let's keep it light theme maybe with a little bit of extra pink. Book review would be interesting. Okay, yeah, cool. Maybe there's like we could add little book reviews. There's a ton of stuff we can add here. Let's make sure we get this structure down, and then we can talk about all the other things that we could add to it. Kitty, you full screened my screen. She jumped up and she's evil. There we go. Let's do, I like this color. I like this color a lot. Let's also edit the app info. Let's edit the icon. Maybe we'll do a book, something like that. Maybe a little red book. That looks pretty good. Let's edit a little description. Find your new favorite book here. I always misspell favorite. Okay, cool. So that's actually a nice little prototype. Let's go publish that. We'll call it Book Tinder. Is that available? booktinder.glideapp.io. Okay, let's see if it works. Book Tinder. Okay, beautiful. That looks nice. So now the swiping feature, because we wanted the swiping feature to work, and I'm not seeing. Usually I was able to drag it back and forth, no problem. Right now it doesn't seem to be working. Let me see. If we scan this QR code up in the top right corner up here, usually it works beautifully and it just kind of pops it onto a little browser. If you open it in Safari though, you can bookmark it and it functions like its own app entirely. But I want to check if it actually lets me swipe, because right now it doesn't appear to let me swipe. Interesting. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can fix that, because that was key to the functionality. So swipe, limit number of items, left action. Aha, we need to add actions. Here we go. Save last swipe. So left action is, let's say, let's add another little row, and it'll be vote, right? It'll be vote. So we'll go here, and it will open link, play sound, set column value. It'll set a column value for let's refresh the data so we get access to the new data that I just added to my little Google Sheet. Okay, yes, awesome. Let's see. Right action, show detail screen for this item. Left action vote is set to no. And then write action, show detail screen. No, I think we want to set column value of vote to yes, something like that. That should work. Now let's share that. Let's try it again. Go back to book Tinder. Let's see if that made it work. In the past, I was able to swipe no problem. The book, the little link works no problem. Everything looks fine here. Maybe this is the detail screen. So the list looks fine. We can jump into it and we can actually, no, we can't. So the action is set column value for this row. Interesting. So it's voting yes. Okay, I get it. So this is different. Save last swipe and vote. Aha, there we go. We need to save that. So now it should work fine. Okay, excellent. So let's go back here. Let's refresh and let's see if it works now. Swipe to the right, swipe to the left, swipe to the right. It keeps going back to the first one. So we'd have to find out next how to iterate through. But that works generally. Let's see. So we're voting yes on that. Let's see if there's anything else we can edit. Save last swipe and vote. Limit number of items. Is there anything that we're missing? Only allow swiping when a condition is met. Maybe. Open detail page. Trigger zap, trigger webhook. Oh, there's so many fun things you can do. Go to tab, go back. Okay, interesting. So we're running into a little bit of an issue here. I've done this in the past, and usually it works fine. But I think I'm missing some little setting that I'd have to fits and futz with until we get it right. And that's not super entertaining. Could you put the I button to the right of book Tinder just so that they're on the same line? Oh, this? So great question, Marissa. Glide. We were able to whip this up really, really quickly. It almost functions right the way we want it to, right? Maybe it's just functioning weird because it's on this little format here. Maybe if I download it on my phone, it would be totally fine. I don't know. But some little thing is messing up. But we were able to just customize and press a couple of buttons, and now we have a little web app, right? Because it's able to do that really quickly because it's built in a very specific structure, right? Glide is very deliberately built in a very specific structure. So actually, the big downfall of Glide is little design things like what you're saying, put the I button to the left of the book Tinder. I don't think I have control over that, which is unfortunate, right? So we're limited, but we're able to build little prototypes like this super, super quickly. And that's the benefits, trade-off kind of thing, right? Whereas if we went with a tool like Adalo is kind of like the step up from Glide. I put that in the chat as well. If we built something on Adalo, we could probably do something extremely similar to what we've done here, but we'd have to build it like from scratch, right? We don't get any of the structure. We can't just automatically plug it into a database. We have to like build the database a little bit more ourselves. We have to connect it more directly. We have to build the entire interface beyond just like pressing a button and then we have a swipe screen, right? We'd have to build that swipe screen ourselves and understand how that functions. So we would trade off here. And because I was doing this really quickly, I wanted to use Glide because, you know, it's fast and we can get to somewhere pretty quickly. Similar situation with Wix. I wish there was more design freedom on there. Exactly. Wix is a little bit lame in terms of that. And a lot of things like Squarespace, right? A lot of the website builders you're going to encounter are more template focused, right? Kind of like how this functions, which is good for whipping something up really fast, but bad if you need perfect little control over every little bit. So yes, there are downfalls and upfalls to everything. But let's see if we can fix this because I want this to work. Swipe, save last swipe, vote. Maybe, what if I did this? Oh, okay. So now it's working fine because I said title. Why is that working fine? That's very odd. Can record /track interactions. Oh, okay, well now it's working. Now it's working totally fine. But now it's messing up the titles, right? If we go back here, it's overwriting the titles because I had to set that to title. So we want something a little bit different. The girl with the dragon tattoo. Lean startup. And then art of war. Cool. So, it keeps rewriting. This is interesting. Very interesting. Let's edit the list again. And let's do it in, But if I do it in vote, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Very interesting. Huh. Why doesn't it like it? What about adding websites for iOS and Android where it gets many people's attention? Adding websites from iOS and Android. What do you mean by that, Richard? Explain a little bit more in the chat. Cody says,
I'm meaning like, if you only just do it on iOS, it only can get specific customer. But what if you could just do iOS and Android and the website where you can get many people's attention, and when you get many people's attention, you make a bunch of profit.
Well, I mean, this is already on a website. You can go to booktinder.glideapp.io. You could make the Glide actually lets you make like website desktop style apps as well. So we could just remake another version on desktop. So then we have a website, and this is actually accessible on both iOS and Android already. So we can absolutely do that. It doesn't just have to be on iOS. So Glide is functional that way. It's a great question. Cody says, can you record/track interactions on either of these platforms? Great question. So the only interactions you're realistically going to be able to track are probably going to be things that happen on the Google Sheets if you're doing the free plan. But it's a great question because I believe we can go into here, integrations, template, data, sharing, privacy. What is it? If I look up add Google Analytics to Glide apps, I think you can. Custom Google Analytics app, Analytics Glide library, reporting analytics app with Glide, connect, Google Analytics, Glide apps tutorial. Is this making a version of Google Analytics in Glide? Create an app from Google Sheet in 5 minutes for free. Okay, I don't think we can add Google Analytics, which usually lets you track how people are using websites and stuff like that, to Glide, which is a shame. I thought there was a way to do that. So probably, I think the only information you're really going to be able to gather, which you could track based on interactions, like we saw, you can change different little elements based on how people use them. We could track exactly what's going on. We just have to get a little bit creative with our Google Sheet, if that makes sense. But it's a super good question, Cody. Glide is also limited in that function. It's meant for very, very simple stuff. But with Adalo, with stuff like Adalo, it gives you a little bit of information based on like what users are doing and how they're messing around with it. Let's see, Google Analytics to Adalo. Does that do anything? Connect your Adalo to Google Analytics integration in 2 minutes. So cool. Anyway, that's just Zapier. Adalo has some built-in analytics, I know, but it might be limited. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that is one of the, I thought there was one tool that does it really well. It's a good question, but stuff is limited. Yeah, I also wish we could track a little bit more. Let's see. So it's not functioning when I do this. I want to fix this last little issue, and then we're just good to go. So vote doesn't work. Maybe we'll add set column values in this row. Maybe because it's resetting vote. So maybe we don't want to set a column value. We actually don't want to do anything. Is that possible? None. And then set column value, none. Maybe that'll fix it. I'm curious. Oh, I think we might have fixed it. So let's go back to this. I think it was overwriting. I think that's what was happening. Whenever we were voting, when we were saving on the swipe, it would vote and add the vote, but then it would also trigger the write action. So it would start overwriting. And because it was recently overwritten, it would just publish it back to the front again. Interesting. I hope we fixed it because that's fascinating. And then this was clean startup. So I think we fixed it. Start.
Is it gonna be on YouTube? I just need to, so that we can watch again.
This, yeah, I
One
think so.
day I
believe it's on
could start building mine.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I'm glad you like this. Let's refresh. Let's check. Tinder. Bop, 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 bop. Yep. Awesome. Cool. So it's tracking in the vote section. It's actually tracking the time that it was swiped. So I would probably change this to something like time last swiped on, right? But the prototype works nicely, right? So now it's tracking when people do stuff, and we can add actions to say what was the most recent swipe on this thing, right? And then if you scale up to like plans on Glide, it'll let you track individual users and how they function and things like that. But for base little bits, this is great, right? This is super excellent.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. And just so everybody knows, this is being recorded. So if you want to come back again and review anything that we're going over, you can do it at your leisure. It'll be available tomorrow on our YouTube channel. So Rec Innovation Lab on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Marina asked, does Adalo use Excel to enter info? I know you say you make everything from scratch, but is that possible? So great question. I need to check actually, because Adalo's been updating their database backend a bunch lately, and they used to pair with like Airtable, which was great, but I want to check. They have their own internal database, which works fine. So they have their own little internal database like system, but I want to see, is there a way, integration trial pack, you can publish, oh, hey, it's only $40 per month. Hey, they downgrade. Oh, no, wait, that's for yearly. Never mind, still 50. So you can get up to 200 records. Yeah, they have their own little internal database if you're on the free plan. But 20 gigabytes of data storage. I'm curious. Let me check Adalo pricing. While I'm doing this, I'll answer other questions. Well, this example, I could show how easy it is to make an app. A person is planning an opening restaurant. I can make an app to order things, huh? Absolutely. Actually, I recently did another live build for Drexel University over in Pennsylvania. And one of the things that the student suggested was, hey, could I build an app to order in my restaurant? And I was like, absolutely. And we built one using Glide for exactly the same thing.
And where could they find that the recording of that workshop that you did?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think it was recorded, which is unfortunate because it was in an individual class. Yeah. But basically what you would do for that is you add like a little buy button. You basically just, if we click plus and add a buy button, it actually just creates, and then we unhide this little shopping cart tab up here on the left. It just functions and it works really beautifully. It's super wild. It's meant, Glide is very much meant for stuff like this as well. Let me check on dollar pricing really quick because I want to answer your question on if it works with Excel. Limited actions, 5 gigabytes of data storage. Can't remember. In the past, I've used Airtable, and Airtable, for those of you who don't know, is a wonderful little online database tool, and it works really nicely. It's like Google Sheets, but a little bit more intense. So yeah, I don't think it could work from Excel, but you could use a couple of other fancy tools like Zapier to connect your Excel sheet to your Airtable sheet, and then it would function really nicely. That's kind of a half-assed explanation. There are ways to do it. It's a great question. If you like, shoot me a message or email me, I could absolutely help more directly. It's kind of hard to explain without going into like how integration works, but you can do it without code. It's definitely possible. Yes, it would just take a couple of little extra steps. I hope that's an okay explanation. It's a great question.
Unfortunately,
David,
we only have about 10 minutes. We only have about 10 minutes left. So yeah, a lot of this will have to go offline, but what were you gonna say? I cut you off, Max.
Oh, I was just gonna say David has his hand up. What you got, David? Oh, maybe he doesn't have his hand up.
Hey,
Howdy.
how are you?
I'm doing great.
So good to see you, and thanks for the great workshop. Quick question. So a lot of these are template sites, which I know you specialize in, but is there any way to get into the code after the fact and kind of do a little bit of customization? Or are you absolutely locked to whatever these templates are giving you?
Great question. So Glide functions very templatized. It's all built on templates, and it just kind of functions that way. And that's why we're able to do things so fast. But in terms of design and everything else, we are limited. I mentioned Adala before because it's kind of the perfect balance between customization. We can customize literally everything on Adala. Everything is totally like what you want it to be. So you don't need to kind of tweak any of the code on the back end in order to get exactly what you want. And then there are even more kind of intense tools like Bubble that are like you're basically, if you spend like 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a month, an hour per day messing around with this tool, you're like an app developer by the end of it. Yeah, you're essentially a coder without knowing how to code. But if code is your thing, there's not really many no-code app builders, at least, that let you actually access the code that you're working with, which is unfortunate. But if you're building something like a website, if you want to get into the HTML, the CSS, the JavaScript, there's a tool called Webflow that'll actually semantically generate code while you're building the website. And you can go back and you can edit it and you can futz with it all you want. But it's hard to find no-code tools that actually let you touch what's going on specifically on the back end.
Yeah, just looking for a happy medium.
Yeah, no, good question. I'd say Adala is probably a nice little happy medium. Very easy to use and really full customization. Yeah.
Thanks, Mac.
Bubble's great, but it takes a while to learn.
Yeah, I'm still learning Bubble. It's very intense. Yeah. Cody says, what do you primarily like use prototypes for? Mine goes to proof of concept and user testing, but that is more for testing and validating ideas. I'm curious what value you find in this tool. Well, great question. So no code is very, very good at prototyping. Absolutely. And that's like, I think primarily what it should be used for. But for instance, one serious project that I'm going after and using Glide for is called Stay Safe Queen. And it's basically a list of locations all around Chicago, bars, clubs, things like that, kind of nightlife stuff that women and people in general go to. But lately, sexual assault, as well as a number of other things, have been on the rise, and it's been a little bit scary. It's been happening in the US and the UK. And I figured it might be nice to create like an online resource where women that go to these places can rank and share a little bit of private information about what's going on in these different places. Yeah, so I'm still experimenting. I've only done a little bit of user testing and experimenting, but I'm trying to get in touch with like sororities around town and things like that. And so far the response has been positive.
So they can now share whether or not an area is safe.
Exactly. And they could even do their own reporting, because police reporting is like tough, if not impossible, for situations like that. So I have them a little reporting stage so they can at least report it to the larger community, so they can help stay safe. So yeah, still experimenting with it, but I'm able to build the entire thing on Glide.
And I have to say, don't think you can only have to use these kind of tools for prototyping. There are many times where you can use use these for an actual startup for a while, right? And maybe forever, but don't feel like you have to code. You have to build everything from scratch. Things like this are out there, and if you can use them, you use them, right?
Yeah. So could be really good. Yeah, I've seen people use them entirely for things for years, like build real products and keep with it. And I probably plan to do that with my little app here, just because I want to keep it really simple and accessible. But I've also seen people I've seen people use it for testing, go maybe a little while, and they understand like, okay, we've gotten a ton of testing, we've gotten a ton of users, people are experimenting with it, but we ran into one little issue, and now we can't use this tool anymore because we want to scale a little bit beyond it. So they build it custom, or they use a different tool. But yeah, it's totally flexible, but don't think you're screwed and you won't be able to go as far as you want just because you're using this. Yeah. So create a spreadsheet with resources that you have to discover that could help, similar to the website we used. Yeah, absolutely. Like spreadsheets of like resources, directories, for instance. This is kind of a directory, right? Of just like local little spots around town.
Right.
So directories are perfect. This is perfect for directories, if that's what you're asking, John. Kevin says, I'm happy using my Google Sheets, but some of the fonts aren't maintained when using mobile browsers. Interesting. Or Google Sites is what you said, sorry. That's interesting. Yeah, if you want a simple website builder like Google Sites, I use Card. I freaking love Card.
I've never
Um,
used Card. I
It's
don't even know this.
beautiful. It's beautiful. I have like 30 websites built on Card. I absolutely adore it.
See, every
Um,
time we do something, I learn something from you. Yeah.
I usually recommend Card to students because it's like the cheapest website builder I've been able to find. You have to get a little bit creative with it because it's a little bit limited, but it's all totally custom. You can absolutely build things custom. You just have to spend a little bit more time than maybe some of the other tools. But like I have a 50 site plan because I
Mhm.
use it so much, and it costs me like I think $49 a year to do
Oh, wow.
50 sites.
I
So
love
it's
that.
really, really cheap. And they have a free plan, and you can like build 3 websites on a free plan. So it's usually really good for students that are just kind of testing stuff out. I test all of my ideas first on
Right.
Card, more or less.
I am going to start playing with this one.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Sean says, could you create a document with all these resources? So this is a little bit heady. No coder, but I built a Glide app
Beautiful.
of all my no code tools that I've assembled. It's called nocoder.glideapp.io, and I'll paste this in, or you can scan in the little QR code on your screen. You can scroll through, you can search stuff, and I even have a little learning resource where it has the little Learn tab has a series of resources on how to use things like Card, Glide, Webflow, Adalo, all these different courses on everything. So yeah, if you're interested in learning more about these different things, go here, 100%. I use Glide for this, right? Heck yeah. So
Great. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
cool. Is there an app for create games or any character based on building it? Great question. Let's search my little app. Let's type game. There is Construct. Construct is a wonderful little tool. I super like it. I haven't messed around with game stuff too much, but you can build 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional games really easy with Construct. There is, I think I recently added BuildBox. I've heard a lot about BuildBox. Design, launch 2D and 3D mobile games. So this is more focused on mobile. But yeah, there's tons of no-code tools specifically for game development, and you can search them all on the little app. Perfect.
Fun time.
There's like 450 resources here. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, I can send a link. I always keep forgetting these things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's in
just
the
dropped
link.
a little
Yeah,
link.
it's the link. Yeah.
It's in the chat,
Awesome.
and you can also scan it. So.
And I'll also, by the way, I'll put the links that Max spoke about today in the video recording. So if you go to our YouTube channel, as of tomorrow, you'll be able to download the recording of this video. And it looks like we're just about out of time here. So Max, if you want to maybe wrap it up, and then we'll put the survey. It looks like Crystal just put the survey in the chat. Please, I ask everyone, please go in there, click on the link to that survey so that we can let Max know what we thought and continue to give you content that you guys like. But Max, anything that you want to make sure to leave everyone with?
Yes, a couple quick little things. Yolanda just asked, can it go in the App Store? It can't, but things like Adalo can. So if you wanted to take it further, you would use Adalo. Last thing, here's my _nerd. I put my little handle in the chat. That's me on Instagram. That's me on TikTok. If you message me on Instagram, you don't have to follow me. I will get back to you within the day, and I would love to help with any questions that you have. And I will also put my email in. gmail.com. You can email me with any questions anytime. I might not be able to hop on a call. My schedule is a little bit all over the place, but I will absolutely be able to shoot you back an email at the very least with whatever information, whatever help you need on selecting a tool, on what to build, whatever. So
We have it on Discord or Twitch.
I do have a Discord actually, and I do. I'm entrepreneur_nerd on Twitch as well, but my Discord is. I'll grab a little link for that. Actually, I think it's online, and then we'll just end here. This is my little link in bio, and this is my Discord link.
Beautiful.
There we go. Cool.
Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Thanks for letting me blab.
Oh my gosh, we love these workshops. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. And everybody, keep an eye on our workshops. We have several scheduled throughout the semester, and Max always comes back several times to impart his wisdom on all of us entrepreneurs who are wanting to start our startups fast. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you again, Max. And am I missing anything, or can we go ahead and call it good here?
I'm good. Yeah. Thanks everybody for letting me talk. I'll see y'all soon.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.